Hi, today we are going to learn how to read an input wave file using Python and trying to get all the necessary informations from it. We would try to get information such as the number of channels, the frame rate, the total number of frames, and the total number of bytes per sample. Now, how can we do that using Python? So what we try to do is we try to record ourselves, and the name of the file that we recorded was called homework1, which is a 16-bit wave file. Now, the only library that you would be needing is import wave. Once you have that, you need to recall the file that you have saved. So let me just show you uh, the file that we have over here. Okay, so just sharing my screen. So this is, so you can see over here, my name is Shadeeb the same. I'm playing it one more time. Hi, my name is Shadeeb Hussain. So this is a file that I recorded. Okay, once you have that, you want to use Python to get some relevant informations on it. So what you have to do is we are using this file called import wave. We are trying to call the name of the file as homework116bit.wave. Now the first thing is, in order to read the file, you need to open it. So all you have to do is use this wave, import wave. You have to just write wave.open and you just write down the name of the file. Now the command for getting to know the number of channels. Now it is very simple. Since you use this pointer WF, so all you have to write is WF, and this is what you need, get and channels. That will tell you the number of channels. Okay, so if you use, instead of WF, if you just use supposedly F, then it would have been just like F over here. But we'll try to be consistent over here. So since we use WF, we'll just use WF over here. So WF dot get and channel. Just remember, to get to know the number of channels, this is what you need to know. Now you need to know the frame rate, the number of frames that is there every second. So similarly, since you use this WF, so you'll have to use the same pointer, WF dot get frame rate. That will tell you the number of frames. Now you want to know the total number of frames over here. So all you have to do is just write get n frames. So all you could see is very similar. It's like get n, get frame rate, get n frames. So more or less looks easier to remember. Not much of a hassle. But if you want to know the total number of bytes per sample, all you have to do is get same, like it's get get sam. Now what you're trying to get the sample width, right? So get samp width. And once you're done reading, now you open the file to get all the relevant information from it. So what, by default, you now have to close it. So all you have to write is wf dot close the parentheses. Now let's just run this file. Okay, so let's just save it first. And you could see over here, it's able to read the number of channels. We have 2 channels over here. The number of frames per second is 44,100. The total number of frames over here is 19,006. No, it's 196,608. And the total number of bytes per sample over here is 2. It's bytes, so it's a 16-bit, right? So that's why it makes sense that it's 2. So that's how you would use it. Like any audio file, all you have to do is you can record yourself. Now I'll show you how you can record yourself. You can go over here. So for me, I use this simple Ocean audio. You can just use this one, like you can just download it. And you can just record yourself like I just did over here previously. They will ask you the sample rate. So now you do see over here the sample rate that I said earlier is equal to the number of the sample rate that I read. So you can choose 48, like 48,000 hertz, or you can stick with what I use, like 44,100 hertz. So you have that flexibility. So it does match over here. I used 44,100, and that is exactly the number of sample rate I got. The number of channels over here was also two. That's why it's stereo. Okay. So mono, if the number of channel was read as one, then you would have, now you can do that with mono, but I kept this default values when I used this Ocean Audio to record my voice. So I kept my sample rate at 44,100, and I kept it as stereo, and it was 16-bit. This is how I did it. So that's why you are sure that the values are like that. I can change it to a different value as well. But for now, let's just keep it like this, and I can just record myself. So you can see over here, you're just recording yourself at this 44,100 kilohertz, and you're recording the time, and then you can just stop it. Okay, and you can just save the file. So that's how you could, like, for now I'm not saving it, but you could save it. But you have seen that this were consistent. It was a stereo, that's why it's two number of channels. If it was a mono, if I had selected mono, then I could have just kept it as one. And since it's a 16-bit, that's why 2 bytes, like 8 times 2 is 16. So yeah, I hope this is a very simple uh, Python file that you can use to analyze, like a basic, just to know how to read some relevant informations about a signal that you have produced. Trying to get to know the number of channels, trying to get to know the number of frames, and to the number of bytes per sample. We won't go into the analyzing part, but today is like we are just trying to get you used to understanding, capturing the relevant informations that you need.